Well, surprise, surprise, we've got another one here. Just your typical fascist, homophobic, right wing, MAGA playbook for obtaining election. Burn a bunch of books, hold a bunch of guns, claim that you hate everybody that the people you're pandering to hate, so that maybe, you can gain some election points or something. Here's the latest. MAGA Nazi Karen is burning LGBTQ books with a flamethrower in her campaign ad, running for the GOP Secretary of State of Missouri.
This is what I will do to the growing books when I become Secretary of State.
Let's go. Welcome to the main event. Applying pressure, but I promise I ain't making that.
These books from the Missouri Public Library, when I'm in office, they will burn.
Please, like Mercedes-Benz. Whoa, yeah. Please don't take offense. It isn't you, I'm just not.
A lot of things wrong here, Ms. Gomez. First of all, if those books are from the library, that's a crime what you just did. Aren't you like from the Law and Order Party? The good party of good values? Your grand old party there? You can't destroy library books. You're going to have Bookman, the library detective, coming after you, just like he did Jerry Seinfeld. And I hope they do. Actually, you want to know something? Either you're too stupid to realize you can't do this to library books and you've just committed a crime, literally burning away taxpayer money, or you legit bought those books with your own money, like these idiots buy Bud Light and sneakers just so they could destroy them, not realizing all of these LGBTQ authors and ally authors have gotten your money already. I don't know which it is. I really don't care. You're a dumb fuck either way. No, you can't get rid of those books from a library. Libraries are a public service. They are there so that anybody in the community can have access to information. Any information they want. Any books that they want. Any periodicals that they want. Any microfilm things from yesteryear that they want. Advertisements, dictionaries, thesaurus, DVDs now, movies, children's books, adult books, anything that an author can pen. And if the library doesn't personally have it, guess what? They can get it for you. Anything that isn't in the library, I can say, I want this book, and they will order in the book. They kind of have to, because my tax dollars pay for information. It pays for a public library. I have the right to read what I want to read. I have the right to peruse whatever I want to peruse. This is not American what you're doing. When you want to fight for something, for a better nation, you're supposed to be fighting for more information, more access, more education, more rights, more ideas. Not stating you're going to take it all away. You fucking fascist bitch. You think you think the right wing is going to vote for you anyway? They don't like women, Ms. Gomez, and they don't like Hispanic women, Ms. Gomez. You're pandering to a bunch of fat, white, MAGA slobs with the average age of 65. Christo-fascist morons. They're not going to vote for you. The GOP, Republican conservatives don't like people like you because you're not white, male, straight Christian. All right? You're a woman, you're Hispanic, they don't like you. If you were black, they wouldn't like you. If you were LGBTQ, they wouldn't like you. This is clearly a case of, I never thought the leopards would eat my face. Stop pandering to people that don't care about you. You could be running for president versus Biden, and they would actually hesitate to vote for you because you're a Hispanic woman. They don't like women. They don't like brown people. They don't like people who aren't white, straight, Christian males. Yeah, and I know this is, I can't totally blame you. Can't totally blame you because obviously you don't know any better. You think this is a foolproof way to get a lot of dumbasses to vote for you. Just show some guns. Show yourself torching a whole bunch of books about gay people or written by gay people. Yeah, that's right. That'll get them all pumped up. They'll know you're on their side. They'll feel that way for a little while. Then they'll read your campaign poster. They'll see the last name. They'll see your picture. And they'll say, who the fuck is this? She did burn LGBTQ books, but they're still not going to like you because you're not a white Christian male. And if it were between you and somebody else who was also conservative, all that pandering you're doing to these people that don't care about you definitely won't matter. They're going to vote for the white guy. They don't want you. And that's why it's so sickening. It's That's another thing that's really fucking sick about watching shit like this. I mean, you might as well say you're LGBTQ and then post with guns because you think that's, a quick ticket to public office and a nice paycheck. And people might say, "Oh, that's cool" at first, and then when they find out you're gay, they're not going to like you anyway. It doesn't matter what you try to do with these people. You don't fit the profile they want. So, pose with all the guns you want, torch all the fucking books you want. Hell, look at the fucking pants you're wearing. Half of the right wingers that watched this campaign advertisement saw you in yoga pants. They're calling you a fucking dirty whore right now. That's all you're doing is telling people you're a fucking idiot. I bet her husband comes out as homosexual after the election. Maybe she just really likes burning books. Yeah, she had to test out that sick new flamethrower on something. And those two well-read and worn-out books were the only thing she could find. Don't worry, she already ordered new hardcovers of each. Her target group voters will come out of the closet as voting for the other one as soon as they see her name on the ballot and think she's a glorious Mexican. Husband keeps his Bud Light in a secret fridge. Got to appeal to the Nazis so you can choose winners of elections in your state and subvert democracy. Yeah. And, things that might, you know, actually uh, help you as a Hispanic woman, things that would help you as a non white, as a woman, you know, good old fashioned corruption, using your influence in one area to influence everything else you have no part in. Isn't it illegal to burn library property? Yes. MAGA's never responsible for anything, though. Oh my God! Need to get the library cop from Seinfeld on the case. Bookman! Yes, I told you. Oh God. Everything I say, somebody on Reddit says it. She burns library books on camera. If they are books from the library, they're going to be replaced. They're going to make her pay for new ones. Either way, that library is keeping those books. That's why I said, if she isn't completely fucking stupid, and, I'm pretty certain she is for multiple reasons, then she would know not to burn actual books from the library and went and spent her own money on them. I think she's pretty fucking stupid, though. So I'm willing to bet she did just burn up library property, which is taxpayer property, on her own advertisement where she's begging for votes to become a state leader. I saw the name and said, yeah, she's not winning. That's exactly what I was thinking. She's a Hispanic woman in Missouri. She has no chance. She's either stupid or trying to grift. Odd to affiliate yourself with the party up in arms about illegals, meaning brown people from the South who speak Spanish, when you have an accent and you're brown and a woman. Maybe because she's light skinned, she thinks she'll pass. MAGA does like picking some tokens so they can claim they're not racist. She might have a chance. No, she doesn't. They pick the tokens to surround themselves with so they don't look racist, or they can say they're not racist. Then, when push comes to shove, when it's time for the real elections, they're gone. They're not needed anymore. I mean, we're talking the right wing, we're talking MAGA. People are only as important to them insofar as how useful they are to them. They don't surround themselves with black and brown people because they actually give a shit about those subsets of the American population. They don't have them standing around because they actually expect everybody will vote for them. It's like giving the slow kid a participation trophy. When it comes down to the real election, they don't want those brown and black people there. They don't want women there. The fuck do you think this is? Why the leggings? Oh, so she's a TikTok secretary. Leggings because she's like Bobert. She's so sexy. She's a sexy politician. Don't worry, they're Coyote Brown, so we know she supports the troops. Yeah, and her own would-be constituents are already calling her a fucking hooker because of it. How much you want to bet? Seen this one before. Wonder where? Germany, 1938. Yeah, baby, America, land of free speech. Oh, wait. Yeah, their freedom to completely eliminate any speech they don't like. One day, America just vanishes in a puff of logic. This should really be viewed as the type of extremism that it is and should be taken very seriously by both sides because something like this would instantly disqualify anyone from running. Now imagine if somebody burnt a Bible and used that as a political campaign. Well, by that logic, I should get a shit ton of votes for the rest of my life. And don't think I won't do it. If I actually wanted to run for some kind of public office, I'll gladly do it. Just to show you no frogs are going to fall from the sky. And no locusts are going to plague your gas stations. You won't have to draw on your door frames with lamb's blood because that's all we have are ourselves right here and now. When something bad happens, it's up to us to fix it. And in the country I live in, there's something called freedom of speech. Just what all these assholes are always complaining about. Freedom of speech. Freedom of speech means exactly what they tried to tell me it is. Only I'm not burning books by people who think. That should be filling my library. I'm going to burn the one book that isn't going to make much of a difference when it comes to your faith, because that's what it is. It's faith, and it's all based on faith. I'm pretty sure there will be no stoppage of printing of Bibles, and you can pick one up anywhere that you want. If you love the Bible, you probably have like 4 of them in your house. And if you can burn books and then threaten people by taking their rights away in the form of getting books out of public tax-funded libraries, places designed so that people can access the written word, access knowledge outside of a classroom, well, then you know what? It's my freedom of speech too to burn the one book I think is causing a problem for our society. And I'll torch that fucking Bible. She's just running for the power to fix elections for MAGA. So this is accurate marketing. Not really. Accurate marketing would be if she was like some fat, bald, white dude. Ugh. Right now, she's an embarrassment. She's an embarrassment to women. She's an embarrassment to real Americans. She's an embarrassment to the office she's trying to get votes to fill. She's an embarrassment to this country, like so many of them. Oh, and the European Union is seeking sanctions and a travel ban against Tucker Carlson because he had an interview with Russian President Vladimir Putin. He was actually trying to say that he's the first Western journalist to ever try to interview the Russian president. And of course, the whole bevy of journalists had to remind him real journalists have tried to speak to Putin for a very long time. Real journalists have tried to contact the Kremlin for many, many years. Real journalists go to Russia. Real journalists have tried to do this. Why do you think it is that a Russian leader finally agrees to an interview with fucker Carlson? I'll give you 3 guesses. Fun fact, Europe has different laws than America. Because here's Elon Musk talking about how disturbing it would be and how offensive that would be to America. Also, as a member of the American public, I'm not offended. He also started on CNN as the host of Crossfire until Jon Stewart came on and completely destroyed him. At that point, he has never worn a bow tie on screen ever since. Yeah, that's right. I remember seeing him via satellite on Bill Maher's show, Real Time with Bill Maher, before anybody knew him as some really, really dangerous right wing talking head, some pundit. He used to wear a bow tie all the time. And that's right. All of a sudden, he stopped wearing bow ties. He never wore bow ties again. And I didn't realize it was after that Crossfire interview with Jon Stewart. So somebody linked it. Now we'll have to check it out again. I love Jon Stewart. I love watching him completely eviscerate people. So this is before the 2004 re-election of W. Bush.
Meanwhile, the president's challenger was also in New York, also facing some difficult questions.
How do you stay in shape?
Do you eat something?
Do you have to routine? Do you eat right
Do you eat something?
It's like Nerf Crossfire.
Welcome back to Crossfire. As both of our loyal viewers, of course, know, our show is all about left versus white, black versus white, paper versus plastic, Red Sox against the Yankees. That's why every day we have 2 guests with their own unique perspective on the news. But today, Crossfire is very different. We have just one guest. He's either the funniest smart guy on TV or the smartest funny man. We'll find out which in a minute. But he's certainly an Emmy Award winner, the host of Comedy Central's Daily Show, and the co-author of the new mega bestseller, America the Book, A Citizen's Guide to Inaction, at your bookstores everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Crossfire, Jon Stewart.
Thank you. Thank you
Yay!
very kind of you to say. Now what? Can I say something very quickly? Why do we have to fight? The two of you, can't we just say something nice about John Kerry right now?
I like John. I care about John Kerry.
And something about President Bush.
He'll be unemployed soon. I failed the test.
I made the effort anyway.
No, actually, I knew Bush in Texas a little bit, and the truth is, he's actually a great guy. He's not a very good president. He's actually a very good person. I don't think you should have to hate to oppose somebody, but it makes it easier.
Why do you argue? The two of you, I hate to see it.
We enjoy it.
Let me ask you a question.
Wait, let me ask you a question first.
All right.
Is John Kerry really the best? I mean, I think, John Kerry's not
Is he the best? Like,
I
thought Lincoln was good.
Is he the best the Democrats can do?
Is he the best the Democrats?
Yeah, this year.
I'd always thought in a democracy, and again, I don't know, I've only lived in this country, that there's a process, what do they call them, primaries.
Right.
And they don't always go with the best, but they go with whoever won. So is he the best? According to the process.
Right, but of the 9 guys running, who do you think was best? Do you think he was the best? The most impressive?
The most impressive?
Yeah.
I thought Al Sharpton was very impressive. I enjoyed his way of speaking. I think oftentimes the person that knows they can't win is allowed to speak the most freely, and because otherwise shows with titles such as Crossfire, or Hardball, or I'm going to kick your ass, or we'll jump on it. In many ways, it's funny, and I made a special effort to come on the show today because I have privately amongst my friends and also in occasional newspapers and television shows mentioned this show as being bad.
Okay, let me...
Democratic nominee, you asking questions such as, quote, how are you holding up? Is it...
Let me try to find some
The idea
zinger.
is,
If the indictment, let me get this straight. If the indictment is, and I have seen you say this, that Crossfire reduces everything, as I said in the intro, to
Right.
left, right, black, white.
Yes.
Well, it's because, see, we're a debate show. It's like saying the
No,
Weather Channel reduces
that'd be
everything
great.
to a storm
I
show.
would love to
30
see a
minutes
debate
in
show.
a 24-hour day where we have each side on as best we can get them.
That would be great.
And have them fight it out.
To do a debate would be great, but that's like saying pro wrestling is a show about athletic
I'm sorry.
competition.
I think you're a good comedian. I think your lectures are boring. Let me ask you a question on the news.
No, this
Little
is
shit.
theater. I mean, it's obvious.
no,
How old are you?
35.
And you wear a bow tie.
Yeah, I do.
So this is.
I know. You're right. Let me just go. No, come on.
And listen, I'm not suggesting that you're not a smart guy, because those are not easy to type. But the thing is that you're doing theater when you should be doing debate, which would be great.
No, it's
not honest. What you do is not honest. What you do is partisan hackery. And I'll tell you why I know it.
Partisan hackery. I like
You're
that.
accusing us of partisan hackery?
Absolutely. You're
Got to be kidding, man.
You're on CNN. The show that leads into me is puppets making crank phone calls. What is wrong with you?
Well, I'm just saying, there's no reason for you
Oh boy,
to have this
Cranky
multiple
Acres.
opportunity not to be
I
the
remember
guy's
that
butt boy.
show.
Be his butt boy.
Yes,
What is
no,
embarrassing?
I was absolutely his butt boy. I was so far. You would not believe what he ate 2 weeks ago. You know, the interesting thing that I have is you have a responsibility to the public discourse, and you fail miserably.
I think.
You need to go to one. The thing that I want to say is, when you have people on for just knee-jerk reactionary talk.
Wait, I thought you were going to be funny. Come on, be funny.
No, I'm not going to be your monkey.
What?
I watch your show every day, and it kills me.
I can tell you a lot.
It's so painful to watch. You know, because we need what you do. This is such a great opportunity you have here to actually get politicians off of their marketing and strategy. Yeah, it's someone who watches your show and cannot take it anymore. I just can't.
What's it like to have dinner with you? It must be excruciating.
What a little shit. And he hit the nail on the head with this. God, I forgot how awesome this clip was. I really did. Michael Moore said something about that too in his documentary after 9/11. That's what the job of the press is. And, I was a major in communications, a minor in journalism back in junior college when I was going. I managed to pick up some stuff there as far as integrity in journalism goes. And Jon Stewart is absolutely right, and Michael Moore was bitching about it too, especially during this era, post 9/11 era, those few years when we started getting into war with Iraq and Bush was going to be reelected, and a lot of people didn't want him to be reelected, and then a lot of people did because we're in the middle of a war, and it was just a clusterfuck of shit back then. And this is what he's saying. You have the privilege of being employed by a major news network show. You have a responsibility to the American people. It's not supposed. You want to bitch at me, Jon Stewart, who is on a comedy network. Okay, you're the real news network. You're right. You're real news. I'm just comedy, but you're blowing it. You're treating your news shows like they're sitcoms or some reality TV, semi scripted reality TV romp where it's about ratings, it's about knee jerk reactions, it's about blow ups and meltdowns, and that's not what your job is. And he's said this, Michael Moore has said this, Jon Stewart has said this multiple times. I'm on a comedy network. I'm doing a comedy show. What assholes like these are really upset about is that more people were getting more accurate information from the Daily Show than they were from them. It's like even 20 years ago, you could not depend on news stations to give you accurate news. You had to watch Jon Stewart to get accurate news. You had to listen to comedians who went on about current events and the state of the economy, the state of this country. You had to listen to comedians like George Carlin to understand what's really going on, because you weren't going to get it from people on the news. And I give a lot of credit to all of these independent news stations that have come up trying to fill the void. And of course, it goes that way with them too. Very partisan. Meltdowns, man on the street interviews, mocking people, edit tricks, and too many op-eds, and it's getting to be where it's the same thing. It's the same thing on an indie scale with these private news organizations. And that's why stations like PBS, NPR, they're very important. They're not beholden to some mega billionaire. They don't act in the best interest of whoever owns them or owns the most shares. When it comes to their company, because they're not a company, they're there for the public. They hold fundraising campaigns from everyday people if they need a budget for their programming. Sometimes when I feel sad, I watch this clip and it makes me feel much less sad. Fox got rid of him because even after they lost the lawsuit, he continued to make the same claims, and they don't want a second lawsuit. How many journalists can claim they got kicked off of 3 different networks? Hey, Fox could have survived another lawsuit. They could survive another 10 lawsuits. They were supposed to pay something like, holy shit, what was that lawsuit for? At least $1 billion? Well over $1 billion or multiple billions. I don't know what it was. They ended up settling for less than half that amount. You know, on principle alone, I think maybe I would have gone forward and taken them for the billions of dollars. You know, it's just like with Alex Jones. I really, really hoped against hope and got my wish that when those parents ended up taking him to court, every fucking dime that he made off of all of his bullshit and this little mini empire he built almost solely off of the bullshit he was saying about these families, these parents, these dead children. I was hoping against hope that every single cent of it would get taken away from him. And I got my wish. And I'm sure a lot of you, if you're watching this, also had that wish and saw your wish granted when he was ordered to pay. I can't even remember. I don't even want to think about it. Tried to declare bankruptcy so he could get out of paying, tried to hide his money, and it didn't work. And at least now, these families that have sued, they're set for life. They're set for more than life. And I'm glad. And it sets a precedent. That's what's important. That's the really important thing. It sets a precedent. It gives you a little tiny bit more faith in humanity to know that there is a silent majority in this country. There is a silent majority. And no, it's not a bunch of maggots. It's a silent majority that is actually made up of normal, sane people. And normal, sane people that took Alex Jones's money away. Normal, sane people that fired Tucker Carlson 3 times. Normal, sane people that voted or judged on an $83.3 million payment to E. Jean Carroll. Shit like that. When there's so much corruption and there's so many problems and there's so much fucking garbage going on in this country, it's really, really nice to see good things happen. Even worse, he's a pretend maggot running just another boomer grift. He's like a gay for pay Ugandan homophobe. He's a Simpsons character brought to life. He's a joke. What I'm offended by is the fact that some emerald mine owning grandson of apartheid supporting South African thinks he can speak for my country. I think in this one case, I'm thoroughly against immigration and wish we would just denaturalize this asshole. Fuck him. You're going to have to severely tax the rich if you want to say fuck him. Do that and he'll hightail it out of this country because that's the reason he's here. Don't be fooled and think he's here because he just loves America. And he has more in common with American tech bros or whatever the fuck he's gonna lie and say. It's because he could become a multi-billionaire here. It's because he'll have a bunch of freaking ball lickers scrubbing and rinsing with every step he takes, crawling behind him like they're a member of the Manson family, completely taken in by this asshole's grift. That's why he's in America.
Saying the same trigger that killed your son, masturbates to memory of the enemy.
School shooter TJ Lane killed 3 students at Chardon High School in 2012. This is him showing zero remorse in court. What did he say? He was sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences without parole. He also escaped in 2014 but was caught the next day. Turns out they had put him in a minimum to medium security prison. Why the fuck is a convicted killer at a minimum to medium security prison? Not defending this dillweed, even though he was charged as an adult. It's likely because he was 17 at the time of the trial. A 109 more replies. There's only one thing I want to murder on this earth, and it's this word neurodivergent. So fucking stupid. Everybody is different. Literally, every person is divergent relative to others. Yeah. Unless they're using neurodivergent as some euphemism for psychotic, sociopath, somebody that should be separated from normal society. If they ever put him with Gen Pop in a max security prison, I'm 100% sure he will find his daddy. The way he said it seems like even he knew how cringy this was. It's a real life sociopath, completely devoid of any empathy or remorse. These people have no place in a civilized society, and it's very unfortunate. I don't know, though. It looks like he's trying to be edgy and hard, but is really a scared little boy. His adrenaline is running so high that he blurts it out faster than you can hear it. I had to play it back to even catch it. This is classic public speaking stage fright. You talk a mile a minute. He was bullied and teased so often he stopped telling his peers about his life. The kid he targeted in the spree killing was dating his ex and was much stronger than him, to the point that his peers said he was lifting weights to compensate because he felt threatened, which obviously didn't work because he looks like 100 pounds soaking wet at the trial. He isn't Dexter. He looks like a scared little boy. And while he clearly tried very, very hard to seem calm, aloof, or threatening, I don't read that in his body language or tone at all. A stone cold sociopath won't care. They'll meet your eyes or hold a gaze or say crazy shit completely deliberately because they honestly lack emotion or the ability to feel empathy. They don't sheepishly look away and rapid fire squeak like a mouse. That's true, but something about the way he said it seemed like he'd been rehearsing it, and he still managed to fuck it up by blurting it out too fast. I'm not going to go as far as calling him a scared little boy, but I do agree he's not Dexter. He's like some edgelord. Knowing he was completely fucked, he stayed up all night thinking of that singer. What did he say? The same hand that pulled the trigger that killed your son now masturbates to the memory. Fuck you. I like prison better because I wasn't waiting on a sentence and knew when I was going to get out. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care about fight or flight. I don't care about what's going through this kid's mind. He can go fuck himself. He's in prison for 3 life sentences, so he can go to hell. Oh no, and wokeness, of course, is going to get pissed that Alexander the Great was depicted as gay. I believe it was Alexander the Great who was not only at least bisexual, if not gay, but there was a beautiful love story involving him and some little twink dancer that was said to turn on an entire room when he danced. And Alexander the Great started banging this kid. And I also read that he eventually had him castrated so the kid wouldn't run off and, cheat on him or be kidnapped by other men. And I always thought that would have made one hell of a nice, sexy kind of story that they should turn into a movie or something. Alas, all we have is, what was this? Was this a movie or a show? Ah, a Netflix documentary. Yeah, unfortunately, all we have is Alexander the Great kissing some bearded dude within like the first 8 minutes. Ew. weird. Can you guess the song? I don't wanna.
When we try to
Okay. Ooh, Community Notes did not hold back on Keemstar. If you are 30 or older with no kids, you are a retarded loser. Oh no, here come the Community Notes. Keemstar is a 41-year-old man who has regularly dated 20-year-olds. This is important to mention because Keemstar is over 30 and cannot hold a relationship with any woman his age due to him being insufferable and immature. And Trump says Sleepy Joe isn't good at anything.
Jericho? So why do you park in handicap spots?
Pushes someone and then gets shoved back. That's assault.
You know what? Go fuck yourself.
No.
You go fuck yourself.
Look at this.
You want to see what happens when you discriminate? You're gonna fuck your restaurant up. I see you. You go fuck. You want to do something? No, I don't want to do anything. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't want to.
Right now. I got it.
And run off.
I got it.
Let's watch that again. I wish I could do it in super slow-mo.
Right now.
That's assault. That's assault.
I got it.
You know, you hear that a lot from people who act really tough and then they take their phones out, whether they have a phone or not. That's assault. That's assault. Yeah, I think people know what the fuck they did to you. I think that's exactly what the fuck people meant to do to you. He was born ready for this moment. It always gives me a good laugh on how everyone was so sick of these types that they go back to just regular after something like this happens. What? You mean everybody is so sick and tired of seeing this shit everywhere that they go every day? So nothing phases them anymore? I love how the guy clocks him, casually walks back to his seat like, well, I did my part. Back to his moons over Miami. Dispensing justice is hungry work. That's assault. Yeah, you got assaulted. No, he got his ass kicked after assaulting somebody else. Yeah, shoving the first guy was assault, so. Guy in blue is gonna get hooked up. A few extra shrimp. Yeah, sure. He flew backward like he was getting kicked by Liu Kang. Yeah, wah. Get out, bro. Okay. Piece of shit dictator Zelensky has put Tucker Carlson on a kill list for interviewing Putin. Biden has helped him with your tax dollars. I think helping him and the people of Ukraine came a lot earlier than yesterday. And the nerve of your ass to call Zelensky a dictator. The projection with these fucking assholes, these insane people, never stops. Uh-oh. Beware of scammers. Let me guess. A dude with a Facetune. Uh, okay. Yeah, that's why you don't give money to people based on still shots. You kind of need to confirm the person is real. Why are the elites scrambling to sanction Tucker Carlson? Why are they so scared? You're literally comparing an actual dictator to the President of the United States. And this is to show that you're totally American and you're totally for everything American Constitution. So you're going to compare how the Russian dictator is better than the president because the president is a Dem. Because, of course, you like the idea of a leader like Putin better than, somebody who's elected democratically and won the popular vote and, you know, isn't MAGA and is not a Christo fascist. And, oh, God, you people are insane. Went to Burger King this morning for Diet Coke. There was only one person working in the whole building. This is happening everywhere in Ohio. Isn't socialism grand? Can't get over somebody going to Burger King at 8 in the morning for a Diet Coke. I would do that. If I feel like a nice, fizzy, frosty Coke Zero or something, I'd go to a gas station in the morning to get one fresh out of the fountain with a lot of ice in it. I'd do that. I wouldn't call it socialism because there's one person working. Again, insanity. How is there anything wrong with what she just said here? Ooh, I love this. Classic. Boomer Karen got kicked out of the salon. In case you don't know, she's in a private room. The woman knew something was going on. That's why the camera is here. I don't care if she tries to say anything different. She knew that the boomer rage was building up and it was going to come to a head because this woman down here is an apprentice or an intern or a trainee of some sort, and she wanted the apprentice to do the client's hair. The client, Karen, refused. Karen said no to the hairdresser. She doesn't want that woman touching her hair. And the hairdresser kept saying she's an apprentice, she's a fully educated, and now she's starting here, and I'd be supervising, and I don't understand what the problem is. And Karen said, no, I don't want her touching my hair. I can't remember if Karen admitted she didn't want her touching her hair because she was Mexican or Hispanic, I think, or if the hairdresser figured that was the reason, which is why she brought her into this room that has a camera running for some reason and a really giddy, smiling apprentice sitting there watching Karen get her hair done. But the hairdresser, whether it was on purpose or not, we all got what we came for. And this is what happened.
You want to leave? I will, if you don't do my hair. You have your color on. Do you want to talk to me like that? Yeah. Robin! Sure. Robin, she's my assistant. She does hair. I'm not. She should do my hair. Robin, Robin, don't talk to me that way. You can go. No, you're not going to talk to me that way. Oh my God. Robin, you go. Robin, you're not going to talk to me disrespectfully. It isn't that you don't either. I'm not. Do my hair. Right. And just relax. Take a breath. I will. Take a breath. Robin, you can't talk to people like that and think that people are just gonna do whatever you say. I know, and I am running a full-blown business, and I'm training someone, and wait, really, honestly, Robin, if you don't want to hear me out and get to the resolution of this, you can leave with half your color on. Are you gonna fucking hit me? Robin, get the fuck out. Robin, get out. And do not cause a scene in my business. You just almost went to hit me, and you know what? It's on camera.
Let's watch that again.
Like that and think that people are just gonna do whatever you say. I know, and I am running a full-blown business, and I'm training someone, and wait, really, honestly, Robin, if you don't want to hear me out and get to the resolution of this, you can leave with half your color on. Are you gonna fucking hit me? Robin, get the fuck out. Robin, get out. And do not cause a scene in my business. You just almost went to hit me, and you know what? It's on camera. Robin, you didn't? Oh, get out. Here, let me Oh my God. Ew, Robin, that was fucking disgusting. You just made me waste product.
You didn't
Come
what?
on. It's on camera. Robin, you did it? Oh, get out. Here, let me get...
What did she say?
I know, and I am running a full-blown business, and I'm training her, and wait, really? Honestly, Robin, if you don't want to hear me out and, like, get to the resolution of this, you can leave with hot color on. Are you gonna fucking hit me? Robin, get the fuck out. Robin, get out. And do not cause a scene in my business. You just almost went to hit me, and you know what? It's on camera. Robin, you did it? Oh, get out. Here, let me get this going. Ew, Robin, that was fucking disgusting. You just made me waste product. Come on. You want to get me? Look how you just spoke to me, and like, she just saw that. Robin, I'm just having...
I apologize. I'm having a lot of stress in my life.
Robin, that was a lot, Robin.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, Robin. No, Robin, that was, like, come on, Robin. I need you to go. We're gonna have to reschedule. I'm sorry. That, like, you have me shaking. Like, I've never had someone do that to me.
I can't go with my hair.
But you should think about that before you are disrespectful. That was, like, wild, Robin. Like, I've never had that.
Okay, fine.
No, Robin, let's just deal with this later. Like, I just need you to go. Like, that was super disrespectful. Like, I can't even believe you spoke to me like that. Like, I really took care of you when no one in the other salon wanted to do your hair. I wanted to do your hair, and we created a bond. And you just broke that bond. You're just gonna go home and wash it. Robin, you can't disrespect people and expect people to do services for you. This is a service. It's not like the bank. You know what I mean? Like, I understand your situation with the bank, but you can't come in here in my business and make it like...
I have a lot of pressure from my daughter.
You know what? I have a lot of pressure, too. Why are we all have pressure? Let's just end this. Here, Robin. Honestly, I appreciate you. Like, I'm wasting so much product, and, like, I don't want you to waste your time, but that was a lot. Like, I'm gonna need you to go.
Yeah, she was waiting for Karen over there to cross the line. Such a golden oldie. Love the I'm having a lot of stress in my life after attacking somebody. It's as if all the boomers are working from the same script. They have stress, but were never taught proper coping mechanisms. Violence, gaslighting, projection, withdrawal, that was all common for them growing up. Yep, and the alcoholism in that generation. Don't forget the abuse of prescription drugs. Growing up, it always made me laugh that the parents of my friends would decry the evils of marijuana, but then they drink beer, drink wine, pop 40 different pills for various shit. Yeah, the state of conservatism. They oppose anything and everything that's different until they need it or want it. No, they'll still oppose all that shit, but not for them because they're special. Irony is palpable, isn't it? It's like a huge cultural blind spot for any substance that is technically illegal. The minute it has a doctor's note or comes in a prescription bottle, it's all good. All of these people instantly change their tune now that the stigma around weed has lifted. They're using CBD for every ache and pain. If only they realized the pharmacopoeia in their medicine cabinet is way more hardcore. I don't know if I want to share a personal story to that effect, but if anyone's interested, I guess I will. But you'll have to tell me. because I don't think I'm going to say anything right now. Oh, fuck you, Reddit. Is there some invisible button? Telling people about this for years. Leaded gasoline, houses with lead paint. It's not anyone else's fault that the leaded generation aren't able to comport themselves with decency and respect for others. They really are the me generation, spoiled like milk in the sun. Yeah, this is also the generation that threw their elders into nursing homes left and right. We even have The Simpsons, which technically Homer and Marge are boomers. That show started in 1989. That is like a snapshot of my family or anybody's family back in 1989. And they're supposed to be a good, strong, loving family. They're supposed to be the average family. But where was Grandpa? They threw his ass right into a home. You know, that's something about the boomers generation. And when I was growing up, 80s and 90s, uh, and, 70s too, that's all there was. And watch old sitcoms, watch early eps of The Simpsons, watch old movies. That's what they banked on back then. Everything was, I hate my wife, take my wife, please. Everything was, fuck my parents, get rid of them, move down to Florida and leave me alone. Uh, or, mom and dad live in my city, don't ever come over. You have to call before you come over. Oh my God, we got to bring the kids to mom and dad's, or throw their asses into a home. Really big during the boomer generation. No respect for their elders. No respect for their own spouses half the time. And children were just there. Children were just there. They oftentimes were not treated like normal human beings. They were just baggage. And then all the over medicating really started in the 90s. In the 80s, if you had ADD or some kind of mild mental illness, you were just called a spaz. You were a spaz, you were a dork, and you were weird, and nobody wanted to get to know you. Maybe, possibly, you were doing some kind of drug. Then in the 90s, some psychiatrists began to realize that there's all these new smorgasbords of medications out there. They have to try to destigmatize going to the therapist and giving people medications for everything under the sun. So all of a sudden in the 90s, everyone was seeing a psychiatrist and they were on a medication for something. It's weird. It Things that seemed so normal back when I was growing up, and realizing we truly are in a completely different era now. It's not the same. This was like my mother pulling this shit. I absolutely see her doing this kind of crap. She treats waiters like servants. God forbid they mess up her order. Most people aren't going to cause a problem if their steak is medium well instead of medium. But this woman will make it seem like the end of the world. And then she wonders why her kids don't want to go out in public with her. My grandma did the same thing. Nasty Boomer Coworker, a program where high school seniors come and work as interns. Mind you, they were high school kids. And she bragged about making anyone that was assigned to her cry. Like verbally abusing teenagers. You're really awesome, aren't you? Probably jealous of them all because the females are a lot hotter than her and the guys represent those in high school who wouldn't fuck her. Yeah, nobody else has any stress, huh, Karen? This young woman runs her own business. Does she think being self-employed is easy peasy? Props to the excellent business owner there. Handled it like a pro. Well, there was a running camera there. They'd have to reschedule is usually the default response of saying or doing whatever it takes to get this person at a distance before giving them the real bad news. Make it seem like she'll eventually get her way. It's a good way to keep somebody already in the habit of justifying their appalling behavior with circumstances from finding excuses for doing anything more drastic. That is the one thing missing from many similar interactions that end with knocking over shelves, smashing displays, and flipping tables. Yeah, she posted a follow-up afterward. And if I remember correctly, she said that the have to reschedule line was to get the customer out of her store without further incident. I guess that's good. I ran my own business for nearly 6 years. It was the second most stressful time in my life. Everyone assumes if you have your own business, you must be super rich. I think it would depend. I feel this. My mother pulls shit like this. Hey, Mom, not that you'll ever see this. This is why none of your children are speaking to you as adults. They inhaled a lot of lead and gasoline fumes in their life. They did it to their kids our whole lives. Why would they change now? This. They see another young person and the behavior comes back. I never realized before reading your comment. Yes. Now that's something I can personally attest to. That's what this person is saying, and that's what a lot of people know. they see somebody of a certain age, they think about their kids, how they treated their kids at that age. In her mind, this business owner, she's just some little bitch that doesn't know anything about anything. You know, my mom's gotten in trouble a couple of times for making the mistake of treating other people my age the same way they treated us behind closed doors, and it didn't work out well for them. Right? When they face the consequences of their actions, all of a sudden they have excuses. Not just excuses, she became a victim. She was horrified that she was going to have to leave with her hair unfinished. Not because she just threatened to punch someone after disrespecting them. Hairdresser did not disrespect her. She wasn't tolerating the old hag's unnecessary disrespect to her or her staff. I know, that was, she did make herself a victim. Did you hear that? Oh my God! I got stuff in my, oh my God! How am I going to get home? I have the stuff in my hair. She actually thought, what? Because she was in the process of doing her hair, there was no way she was going to tell her, we're done. Get the fuck up and get out of here. Go home and rinse it out. She only starts apologizing when she realizes the owner wants her out, whether her hair is done or not. Yep. Pretty sure she's that crazy lady, otherwise that cam wouldn't have been there. They knew she was going to pull some shit after being confronted. Found a comment with explanation here. That time a boomer almost smacked her stylist. Excerpts from an interview on her. She explained that Robin, the client, was passed from stylist to stylist at the salon until Ms. Spellman took her on, though sometimes she would have to mention how she treated others. We've had a few circumstances where she would cuss people out at the salon, and I'd have to say, Robin, that's not okay. And she would instantly be like, okay, you're right, I'm sorry. And then she would apologize to everyone. She then explained that in the past, Robin had made many remarks specifically about Mexicans. To me now, looking back at that situation, I'm connecting the dots and I'm like, no wonder she was disrespectful to my assistant. My assistant is Mexican. She also said when Robin walked into that appointment and met Alex for the first time, she looked her up and down, would not say hello, and asked her if the woman was staying. She definitely beat her kids. That's why it's a normal action for her. Yes, again. And the woman who started the salon looks pretty damn young. She probably thinks it's perfectly okay. My thoughts exactly. Second, she doesn't get her way, immediate response is to threaten physical violence. I would never let her set foot in my business again. The Villages has the highest concentration of STDs and alcoholism in the United States. Boomers are literally killing themselves with the same alcohol, sex, and drugs they condemn their kids for even trying once when we were teenagers. Let them. The sooner they're in the ground, the better. I remember watching a Disney movie where the plot was white schoolgirl from apartheid South Africa studies abroad in the US and doesn't realize she might be placed with a black family. Black family doesn't realize South African exchange student may be white and also racist. I saw a scene thinking it was over the top to see clients at a restaurant threaten or actually slap a black waiter. Now, as an adult, I'm thinking that scene was ham-handed in the people white girl raised in explicitly racist segregated society sees such actions as bad or shocking, and two, that plot was more socially aware and nuanced to take on racism than I'd expect from Disney. Even in its Raven Simone era of sort of trying to be socially progressive-ish, okay? How can you feel bad for a narcissist that has always gotten their way? No one has the first reaction of violence towards strangers unless they've lived life with nearly zero consequences for shit tier actions. Once you've been busted in the face a few times for trying this shit, your entire subconscious makes you not want to fight anymore. But she has a lot of stress in her life. That old fuck lives in LA and she hates Mexicans. Well, she has another thing coming. How do you even survive in a place like SoCal and hate Mexicans? I've met people that talk about shutting the border and how they're all criminals. And later that day, they take me to a street taco stand because it's their favorite spot. Cognitive dissonance is off the charts. As a white former conservative married into Latino culture, there's a lot of traditionalism and conservative worldviews among a segment of Hispanics, but they will overlook the abject racism among white right wingers. Yeah. You know she was waiting to put this boomer in her place. I'll never forget this video. Yeah, personally, I always thought I could sense, I could hear a little twinge of smugness in the voice from the hairdresser. I'm not saying she's in the wrong. I'm not saying she did the wrong thing. I'm just saying I know that camera was set up on purpose. I know when she probably, actually, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say she purposely hired a Mexican girl just because of Karen in the salon. I'm sure she offered that service to her apprentice, knowing Karen was going to start something, and then took Karen into the private room with the camera in case she said some shit. And she got what she wanted. Karen did the elbow into her side, and oh my God, Robin, she got what she wanted. She knew it was going to happen eventually. She wanted it to be caught on camera, and she caught it on camera. So now she got a viral video out of it. And in this case, I don't care, because Robin the Karen needs to be named and shamed. But let's not pretend this was out of nowhere and she just happened to luckily capture it on camera. Probably waiting for this forever. Okay, I'm playing some World War Z.